Hello, my name is Chris Lann, and today we're going to be talking about meetings. How to set a meeting, how to follow through the meeting, what should you say during the meeting, and then at the very end, how to close a meeting. So we're going to go over 3 phases of what you should know before you step into the room with that business owner. So the first one is strategy. You need to come up with a surefire plan to go in there and pitch. You are literally pitching your services, but you also are trying to deliver value and listen to the business owner. So right when you go in there, you need to make a script. And the script should be very simple, straightforward, but it should also hit every single point that you're trying to hit. So for an example, you're going in there, you're pitching to a real estate agent, and you're trying to give them value. That's the first thing you're going to do. You're going to give them what they want, and especially what they want to hear. You want to say, hey, I can sell you these homes, I can sell you these real estate properties, and I can do it very quickly using social media marketing. That's what they want to hear. It's perfect, because then you're going to show them, hey, I can do this, I know I can do it. So that's your mindset going in. You need to tell them, listen, you won't have to do any more of these open houses that already bore you. You don't have to do cold calls for leads that don't amount to anything. And guess what? I have your back with social media and social media posting as well, because I've researched your Facebook page and your postings have not been that accurate, and I haven't seen that much reach. Have you been getting enough leads through your Facebook posting? Usually they'll say no, because you've done your research, and they like that. As a business owner or someone interested in real estate, they love that you've done your research. So those are some easy tips of a script that you need to set up. Again, you need to ask basic questions as well. What kind of marketing have you been doing, sir? None, not really. So you kind of get an idea of their budget as well. How much have you been spending on marketing? And then they'll tell you a number, or they won't. So you kind of engage the client and you get to know more about them. What's your goals for me coming on and helping you? What do you want to see from me? So you get kind of an idea of what they're looking for. So the first part is strategy. The next part is more to do with you. It's your attire, it's your confidence, it's what you're wearing. So if I go into a meeting and I'm wearing a tank top and shorts and flip-flops, I'm not going to be looking that professional, and I'm going to be looking poor. So again, there's nothing wrong with that attire, but when you're going to talk to a businessman or businesswoman, we need to look the part. We need to look really good. We need to look rich. Unfortunately, that's the scope of things, of how people view someone coming in to pitch them something. They don't want to be pitched by someone in a t-shirt and jeans. Now, of course, that also depends on the culture. Different businesses have different cultures, but most of the time they want to see business attire, so you have to dress the part. Suit, tie, the whole 9 yards, looking nice, looking presentable, clean shaven, everything. So this approach is great because it also builds confidence. I don't know about you, but when I put a suit on, I automatically feel more confident about myself because I look nice in it, and I also feel more like a businessman. So giving off the attire and what you're wearing and confidence will actually make the process and the meeting go a lot more smoothly. I've kind of tested this a little bit. My first meeting, I was wearing a long sleeve t-shirt and khakis. It went okay. I mean, I didn't close the client, but the next meeting I learned, hey, I need to dress more businesslike. So I got a suit, tie, learned how to do this big old knot up here. So it's a learning process. And I know most people are going to be like, well, I don't have a suit. Well, it's not that expensive. There's thrift stores. I got a couple suits from thrift stores. It's not a big deal. But the point is, you need to look professional. And with professionalism comes confidence. So that's definitely number 2. Tip 2 I can give you is stay confident and wear something that's going to make you feel good and also gives off the impression that you're very professional. Even if you're just trying to get your first client, you still need to look professional. The last part and the last phase in everything is the closing. So at the very end, you need to be closing. You need to be saying, okay, everything is said and done. I showed you my value. I showed you what I could do, and I showed you the goals that you wanted to meet and how I could meet them. Now, my services are blank, 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 blank. So you could say whichever number that you feel comfortable saying, but be sure to give value. For instance, if you're doing, let's go with real estate. So real estate, you're going to sell them multiple homes. That's the goal. And for them, they're going to get a commission off those homes, and that's how they're going to be able to pay you for future months. So if you help them the first month, and let's say you worked for them for $500, you worked for them for $500, and they sold 3 homes. Now that's a huge commission on them. They're probably getting almost $8,000 to $10,000 from those commissions from selling those specific real estate properties. So you should be worth your value. If you're already getting them 3 homes, next month it should be skyrocketed. It should be, okay, I'm gonna work for $2,000. After those results were so amazing, let's actually put some more skin in the game. So you have to value yourself based upon the client, based upon their budget of marketing, what they have already been doing, and the value of your own services. So if you need to ask more money based upon your value, say, for instance, I value myself really high because I've had clients, I've had case studies, I've done the business cards, the website, I have testimonies, so I have a little bit more leverage than I was at the very beginning. At the very beginning, I just had to take what I had to take. And yes, I played hardball a lot, saying, hey, I want $3,000, but it's harder to play that game when you don't have leverage. Now I can say, hey, I'm going to do this service for $3,000. I have that leverage because I have a couple more clients now. I have everything that I just went over. I feel more confident also having those things. So that goes back to the confidence. So with the closing, you need to say your price. So let's just stick with $3,000. So my services will cost $3,000. I went over the value I can bring to your company, the money, the ROI that I can bring. How do you feel about moving forward? That simple, that easy. So they're going to say probably 3 things. One of 3 things. First one is, that's kind of a lot of money. Second one is, I have to talk to my partner, my wife, my business partner, anyone. They have to talk to somebody before they get back to you. And the last one, which is what we all want, is yes, let's work together, let's sign on the dotted line. But it's usually the first 2. So the problems are, it's usually their money, or it's they don't believe in the value that you offer. So you can structure the next thing you say after they say one of those 2 things. You can structure an easy question. You can say, do you value the work or the potential work that I can give to your company? Or is it the money? And they'll be honest with you. And you can push a little bit further if they're not honest with you. So they say, I understand most of the time. This is most of the time, it's the money. They'll say, I understand, I actually value you, and I value your company, and I value what it brings, but the money is kind of a problem with me. That's a lot of money to spend on a company that we just kind of met, we're still getting to kind of know each other, so that's fine. You take that, you hear it, and go, I understand. Let's say hypothetically, I was able to give you a payment plan. Say half at the first 30 days, so the first day will be half, plus the ad budget, and then at the last day of the 30 days, you pay me the rest. Now this is hypothetical, but what if I could do this for you? How would you feel then? Now, this is great because most business owners, they get paid once a month. So they get paid right now, and then next month they get paid again. So they'll be able to pay you and they'll feel better about it. So this is a great approach to splitting up the payments and letting them have a little bit of wiggle room of how much they pay you, but also feeling secure that your value is worth being paid for. So this is great. So they understand, hey, this is working out, I like it, let's go with it. So that's one strategy to get away from the money. Now, if it's a value problem, say, sometimes they're honest, they're like, I don't believe what you're saying. Now, that's a lot harder. You can deal with the money, you can even go a little bit lower and be like, hey, how about $2,000? But with value, you have to do that during the meeting. That's why the first part is strategy. And you have to relay your value to the client as soon as possible. You need to show them how their investment in you is going to be worthwhile. So, how do you do that at the very end of closing? It's a lot harder because you just went through the whole entire meeting supposedly telling them how it's going to happen. Now, a little simple tip to avoid the very end closing being about how much value you can bring to their company is asking them questions while you're going through your strategy, while you're talking to them, while you're asking them questions. You explain, for instance, they want to learn more about Facebook marketing. You say, hey, I use Facebook ads to generate traffic, say one person, a potential customer, and I send them from point A to point B, which is point B would be your website, where we show them the product or we show them your service, and they click on it and they call you, and that's a lead. So you can explain it like that, and then you ask the question, do you understand? And then they'll be like, oh, hey, yeah, I understand, I get it, thank you. Or you can say, do you understand the value I want to bring through Facebook marketing? So you ask questions, you get them engaged. The more engaged they are, the better of a sale they're going to be. So that is a very big tip you can do. At the very end of the closing, they want to reevaluate your value. You can be like, hey, we talked about it. This is the strategy that I want, and you give them a quick summary, and then you ask, my value is for you. My value is for your company. The value I can bring is through social media marketing. I can get you clients using a platform that's being used all around the world. Let's get started. Do you feel better now? That's kind of the approach. You want to kind of coddle them, but you also want to be firm with them. You want to be like, hey, this is what I showed you. Let's move forward, or let's walk out. So yes, it's kind of give and take, and it takes time. Meetings are one of the hardest things. But follow these tips that I gave you, and I promise you, it will make your meetings so much more easier, and you'll be able to adapt to different situations a lot faster using these 3 structured tips. So again, my name is Lann. Please like this video and comment for the question of the day. Question today is, how are your meetings? What do you do in your meetings, and how well have you been doing meetings in social media marketing? So again, please comment that question of the day and give me your response, because I will respond to every single question and get back to you with some great feedback and maybe some more tips. Subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can get more notifications of more future videos. Again, I'll be posting Monday through Friday, and I hope you guys have a great day.